And what he claims is we should not be eating plants because they're high in lectins. So I'm intrigued. So I wanted to know, from God's point of view, lectins are in unripe fruit. And when the fruit is ripe, there are no lectins. Well, that made sense to me. And when the figs are on the tree, no bird will eat a green fig, will they? As soon as the figs have a bit of colour, the birds know, because it's sweet. So I thought, well, that makes sense. I understand why God put lectins in food. Another very interesting point, if you have a good gut flora and you happen to eat a food with lectins, it'll disarm the lectins. So come on, more fibre. Did you have a nice arrangement of fibre this morning? The more variety of fibre you have, the more variety of microorganisms you have. And those microorganisms play a major protective role. They even disarm the lectins. So I thought, well, that makes sense, because it has to make sense to me. Maybe it's because I'm the daughter of an inventor. If it doesn't make sense, I just think that doesn't make any sense at all. Legumes, high in lectins, but don't you love the but? If they're prepared in the traditional method, what's the traditional method? Soak them, rinse them, bring them to the boil. You know all that white froth? Wind, lectins, wash it away. Wash it away. I well rinse halfway through cooking. You're not going to rinse at the end of the cooking, or wash half your beans away. And then I put it into the sauce and I let that slowly simmer. No lectins. Pressure cook halfway through cooking. Yep. Oh, that's dirty water. Look at that, dirty water. You're washing away the phytic acids, you're washing away the lectins. And you'll find you can digest them a lot better. If you still can't, you just need to build up your microorganisms. So I thought, well, that makes sense. And the sourdough method of making bread disarms the lectins. So you know what that takes us to? The book Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. She looks at all the traditional ways of preparing food. Did you know the Scots used to soak their oats through the day and put it on the corner of the fuel stove and slowly cook it all night? Disarms the lectins. So if we're preparing plant foods in the traditional way, well soaked, well cooked, well rinsed, sourdough the grains, and another grain that's high in lectins is quinoa. But have you noticed, if you rinse the quinoa 5 or 6 times, when it's cooked, there's no bitterness? That bitterness is lectins. So if the plant food is prepared properly, the lectins isn't a problem. But of course, Dr. Stephen Gundry's thought was, well, who's going to do that? Well, let's just eat meat. Well, I've simplified that a little bit. What about the nuts? Well, when you chew them very, very well, the digestive juices help to break down the lectins, and then you've got the nice gut flora that does an extra job of breaking them down. I don't. I do. I think they taste nicer. Some people say, no, you can't eat nuts unless you soak them and dehydrate them. I'll leave it up to you. But I like what about beans from a can? Yeah, you don't know. You should never say never, but I never eat beans from a can. I love the fresh beans. It's just before you go to bed, what am I going to eat tomorrow? I think I'll have beans. Put them on to soak before you go to bed. It's very easy. Or soak them all day and put them in a slow cooker all night. If you're going to do a slow cooker or a pressure cooker, you bring them to the boil in a pot, and that's where you'll see all the froth. Rinse that all off, then put it into your pressure cooker, then put it into your slow cooker. And so if our gut is working well, and if we're preparing our food properly, lectins are not a problem.